Hello guys, today we are going to set up our sound system, do a little tutorial to show everyone how to do it. So in the future nobody really has any questions on the proper setup. So what I've done here is I've laid everything out and I will just go through and do a step-by-step guide on how to start. So what we have here is we have amp 1, our mixer box, and amp 2. Amp 2 is labeled with the orange, and amp 1 is labeled with yellow. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you which speakers and subwoofers connect to which amp, and then I'll show you which of the cables go to everything. So to begin, amp orange connects to our 2 speakers, and I've also conveniently labeled those with orange stickers as well. So all you have to do is connect the 2 orange speakers to the amp. To do that, we will use our 2 speaker connector cables here, and they are both also labeled orange for convenience sake. So what I'm going to do is I'll just start by connecting the first cable to the speaker, and it goes into the slot on the right, not the one on the left, the one on the right there. Then take the other side of the cable right here, and you're going to plug it in to your 2 channels for outputs. So I'll connect it to the very top one, then the other cable will connect to the bottom slot. So I'll grab this cable here and connect it again to the slot on the right, not the left, and grab the other end of this cable, and I'll show you. I connected it to the bottom there. So you have the 2 channels going to your 2 speakers. The other cable you'll need is your power cable, which again, labeled orange. These are universal cables, so really doesn't matter, but just for ease of use. And I'll just connect that to the AC input here, and then this will connect to your slots. So you now have that speaker system set up. On the right side here goes to your subwoofer. For this one, we are going to use the yellow cable right there, again conveniently colored for you, and it connects to, again, the right slot, not the left slot. You then connect the same cable to your amplifier for the subwoofer, and you're going to connect it to the bridge mono, which is the middle of those 3 slots right there. And you also have, again, your power cable labeled yellow, so very convenient. Don't have to do much thinking on it, just grab the colors that match, connect that to your power. So all of your speakers should now be hooked up to the 2 amplifiers. We now have to hook up the amplifiers to our mixer box. To do that, we're going to grab power cable. This one's just been colored white, doesn't really matter. Connect that to your power slot right there. Now, you're going to have 4 different cables here. This one right here, colored yellow, obviously connects to your yellow amplifier using this end with only the 1. So it's a red and white coming down into the 1. You plug that into input 1. So it plugs into that input 1 slot right there. And then the red and white ends connect to the amp. So it's going to say amp on the mixer box right here on the left. The right one says tape. That is for the one for the speakers. So you grab your orange speaker cables. This one's just a standard red-white cable. You connect it to the tape side on the right, and then you connect it to your slots 1 and 2 right there, just like that. So now what you've done is you've successfully connected the mixer box to your 2 amplifiers and your 2 amplifiers to your speakers. Last step is to add input. In order to play music, you have to connect at least 1 wire, but we always have 2. One of them is for such as a laptop, the other one could be for like an iPhone or something along those lines. So that is where these two cables come in. They are just your standard red-white to a headphone jack. And you're going to connect them into line 1 and line 2, or channel 1 and 2, I mean. So on this side you have your input 1, on this side is your input 2. So channel 1, channel 2. You're going to connect it into the line slots. So I've connected this one in the line, and then you can connect a device here such as a laptop. And then you're going to do the same thing with this one to your line channel 2. So that's how that would look. And again, what you're able to do now, if you have these hooked up to two different devices, is you can actually switch on the box using this dial here. You can switch back and forth between music. So if you want something on an iPhone on your right, you play it here, and then you can gradually switch it over to whatever's on this left one. So you can have two different songs going at the same time, mixed back and forth. So that is how to set up the system. I'll show you everything one more time, just so you can see how everything looks. You've got your red and white cables here on the orange amp, your two inputs, or your two speaker outputs, I guess, going to speaker 1 and speaker 2, both labeled orange, and your power cable. On the mixer, you're going to have your power cable, your 2 amp cables going to your yellow and your orange amp, and then you have your 2 audios going out to a laptop and an iPhone or whatever combination you want. Then on the last amp, you have your yellow going to the subwoofer, and then your power cable and your mixer cable there. That is how to properly set everything up. So then you can see it all in action here. Depending on how much space you have, obviously you'll have to differentiate there. And your 2 speaker cable or speakers will generally be on the stands, which are at an elevated distance, but the subwoofer will always be on the ground. That is how to set everything up. We will do a part 2 tutorial on how to actually use the equipment.